Hey everybody, it's Rebecca at Yarn and Pajamas, and today I'm coming to talk about my hashtag movie and stitch movie for the letter D, and I will show you the square that I made for the letter D, and then talk about my pick for my movie that begins with the letter E. So the hashtag movie and stitch was started by a Yarn Joy podcast, Lee Mack, Valerie's Cuddly Cat Crochet, and No Catchy Name. And it was a collaboration between them to where they watch a movie and work on a project and then just come on and make a video talking about the movie and showing off your project. And they said that everyone was welcome to join in and make videos, so I joined in as well. So I will try to put links to those videos down below, but I'm not good at that kind of stuff, so it may not work out, but I'm sure that everybody who's here watching my video probably knows about them. But I'm told that if you hit the hashtag movie and stitch down below in the title, that it brings up all of the movies that have that hashtag in their title bar. So, yay. So, I want to thank everyone for coming and hanging out with me and listening to me talk about my movie. I know I'm not the greatest movie reviewer that there is, so I want to thank you guys for sticking around and listening to me. So, I'm going to start off with my movie for my letter D, and it was Drowning Mona. And I brought it up on IMDb here on my phone so that I can give you a little bit of information about it. So it was, I believe, made in 2000. It's rated PG-13. It's an hour and 36 minutes long. It says it's a comedy, crime, mystery. And it says the little plot tagline: when a woman drives a car into the river to her death, everyone in town becomes a suspect. So it has like almost an all-star cast. You got Danny DeVito, Bette Midler, she plays Mona, Neve Campbell, remember her from the Scream movies and Party of Five. Jamie Lee Curtis is in it, who is always great. Casey Affleck, he looked pretty young in it too, so it might have been like one of his first movies. But let's see who else is in it. Like, there's like a lot of people. Will Ferrell was in it. What's the lady's name? She played Suki on Gilmore Girls, and she's like real big now. Melissa McCarthy. She's in it for just like a little bit, but like there's like tons of people that you will know like when you see them. So yeah. So what I thought about the movie, I didn't really like it. I thought it was gonna be like a laugh out loud comedy. And maybe it's just not my style of comedy. I mean, it wasn't like raunchy comedy. There was like some drinking, maybe some drug use. I can't even remember now if it was like drug use or not. No, there was no drug use in it. It was like a lot of drinking, like a lot of beer and stuff. But so here is like the movie. So there's a lady, her name's Mona Dearly, and she goes out to start her car, to get in her car, and her key doesn't work. So she turns around and sticks the key in her son's car, and it works. So she just gets in his car and drives away. And now everybody in this town, I think in like Maine or New York or something like that, they all have the same car. It's called a Yugo, U-G-O, Y-U-G-O, Yugo. So everybody has the same car. And she's driving her car, and she wrecks and drives over a cliff, and she dies. And I'm not giving away anything. I mean, it tells you in there that Mona's going to die. Mona dies in like the first 3 minutes of the movie. So, after that, you meet all of the people in this town. And Mona was not a nice person. She offended, I won't say offended, she was just outright mean to a lot of people. So a lot of people had reason to want Mona dearly off of the earth, including her husband and son. So you've got Danny DeVito is the police chief or sheriff of the town. Nev Campbell plays his daughter, who's engaged to Casey Affleck. I can't remember their names. Like I said, I didn't really like the movie, so I wasn't really invested in trying to remember this stuff. So Danny DeVito, at first it looks just like an accident, but the more he, is investigating it, the more he thinks that it is not an accident. So that's the premise of the movie, is just him trying to figure out what has happened to Mona. And like I said, it is billed as a comedy. And I just didn't find it funny at all. And I don't know if it was, it was made in 2000. It's fairly new. I don't understand why I didn't like it. But, someone else might. Someone else might find the humor in it and totally love it. But it just wasn't my cup of tea. So I'm going to have to give it a thumbs down, only just because I just didn't get the comedy. But I made a square, and the squares that I'm making are just a regular square. It is by Maria's Blue Crayon, and it's the Granny Square 2.0, and I have been getting appliques of the alphabet for a capital letter and a lowercase letter, so uppercase and lowercase letter, from the Moogly blog, and been sewing them to the block in hopes that it will resemble, those like little blocks that you had when you were kids that had the letters and stuff on them. I know they didn't have like both letters, but that's what the aesthetic, I guess, I'm going for. So here is my D block, and remember, my sewing is not that great. So I think things turned out a wee bit crooked. And I don't know how, because I pin these things on, and I take my time and I'll pin them on and then make sure everything is even. Then I unpin one, sew one on, then pin the other one back on, make sure everything looks good, and it still turns out wonky. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. But here's my letter D. Dun, 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 dun. See how crooked it is? Oh well. But it is a scrap ball yellow. I got it. There you go. Scrap ball. I got it from, I believe, the Goodwill, and like one of those little things. It was a small scrap ball. I kind of played yarn chicken a little bit. I didn't think I was going to have enough to finish it, but I did with just a little bitty tiny bit left over. So I was happy about that. And then the middle part, if you can see, it's got like little flakes of different colors and stuff in it. It is, I love this yarn. It's called Fruit Salad. It's very pretty. I like it. And my blocking board is my Chetnanigans blocking board. If anybody is interested, I will leave the links to everything down below. The patterns for Moogly blocks, appliques, and Maria's Blue Crayons block here, which I'm getting fairly good at. Like, I don't have to look at the pattern as often. Like, I started out and I kind of knew what I was doing, but then I looked at the pattern just to make sure that I was doing it the right way, and I was. So about the fourth block I've gotten to where I remember, the better. So here is my D block. She's all finished, or he's all finished. And I made it yellow. I was having a hard time picking, but I made it yellow because Mona's car is yellow. So I was like, oh, I know I have yellow. And Mona's car was yellow, so I just went with it. I've not really been theming my colors after the movies, even though the last two have been spot on, like colors related to the movies. So put that aside. And now my pick for, oh, before we move on to my pick, in the last Movie and Stitch video, I talked about how I was having a hard time finding a movie because there were so many to pick from. So after I watched Drowning Mona and I was like bummed out because I didn't like it as well as I thought I would, I went and I watched Devil's Knot, which turned out to be really good. I really liked it. It has Reese Witherspoon and I believe it's Colin Firth in it. And I watched it on Hulu and it was so good. It was so good. So I totally recommend that one. I went to watch Deep Blue Sea on HBO Max, but it already left and I didn't get to watch it. And I was like, you know, I'll just move on. And then there was another one. I think it was called Doubt. But I really wasn't in that kind of mood to watch that kind of movie. But it still looks really good and I'm still going to watch it. But moving on to my e-pick. I found this one, I believe it was on HBO Max, and it's called Eulogy, and it has like one of those like ensemble casts. It has Rip Torn, I believe is his name. I don't really know him that well. Piper Laurie, Ray Romano's in it, Zoe Deschanel, Hank Azaria. I believe Kelly Preston is in it. There are quite a few people that I saw on there. But it looks to be, I tried not to read too much about it because I wanted to go into it. But it looks like one of those like family dramedies, I guess. Like a little bit of comedy, but mostly drama. It looks like the patriarch of the family passes away. And they are, you know, going home for that and they're gathering. So it looked to be semi-interesting, and I could not really find a whole lot of e-movies that I wanted to watch that I hadn't already seen. So this was one, and there we have it. So I've decided for my Movie and Stitch movies, they're probably going to be like a week behind everyone else's Movie and Stitch videos because my podcast and the Movie and Stitch were happening on the same week, and like I kept trying to get this video filmed and I just could not get it filmed. Like something came up every day, like, and it's like I barely had any time to get it done. So I decided that maybe I'm trying to do more than one a week, like more than one big one a week, wasn't going to work out. So I decided to just like push it back. And my allergies are acting up real bad. But push it back. So mine will be like a week behind everyone else's. So that's where we're at with that. So sorry about that I'm coming in late. But what are you going to do, you know, life. And then now with this time change, I mean, it just, and my allergies are like going crazy. So it's a mess. It's a mess. And, you know, we've had this nice 70-degree weather, and now all of a sudden it was snowing and sleeting today when I left from work. So, and it's like below 20 degrees outside. Like not 20 below, but like below 20. So it's like in the teens or something. Indiana weather, I guess. I seen Sarah Satch, Posh Pooch Designs, had been posting pictures on her Facebook group of all of the snow that they've had, and I'm just like, oh my goodness, I could not imagine. It's almost springtime. Like, I've seen like flowers blooming, here. So, okay, now I'm just rambling, so I am going to go. And I want to thank everybody for stopping by and hanging out with me. And if you liked my video, you can give me a thumbs up if you want to. And if you're not subscribed and you want to be, you can hit that button. But I want to thank all of the people who subscribe and come by and watch my videos and comment. I really do. I love it. I love getting a notification that someone has commented, so that I just, run and try to look at it real fast and try to respond, because, it makes me happy when I get to interact with some people about my yarn stuff. So yay. So yeah. So I just wanted to thank everybody. I know I don't say it in every video. It's because I try to rush myself, and that's why, and I end up forgetting, but I really do appreciate it. And I will see you guys in 2 weeks, and we will talk about Eulogy, and then we'll talk about Pick for the F movie. See you guys later. Bye.